Hey, it's your man, Jelon. Some of y'all ain't seen me ever, so here I am. Recording off the phone right now. I got something quick that I just wanted to get off my mind. Something it's been in my mind for a hot minute. And I just never heard nobody talk about this, so I just wanted to bring it to light, just because I feel like nobody talks about it. And I was just scrolling on TikTok for like the last couple of hours, just looking at different content, and I got on the subject of what I'm about to talk about. And I was like, I feel like it's time for me to like just put it on blast in my own head. Like, not saying that like this is like a standard that every person should follow or have the same belief about. I know there's different convictions out there and things of that nature. However, I feel like what I'm about to talk about has not really been talked about, or if it has been, it hasn't really been like a serious take ever. So I want to talk about it. I want to talk about this topic. I'm talking about anime. I'm talking about anime, specifically anime and like the idolization of like demons, right? So somebody might be like, well, you already starting off deep. The reason I say this is because all the dope anime that I have ever watched, like, if you don't know, you don't know. But all the dope animes, like Soul Eater, Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, Hero Academia, basically any dope anime that you could think of, to where main character, Bleach, like if you could think of any anime, a lot of them, they stem from this like ethereal power source, or some type of like ancestral powers, or demonic powers. And it started like getting to me, because I was like, okay, like, you know what I'm saying, like they just fighting, like Dragon Ball Z, for instance, they just fighting, you know what I'm saying. And a lot of times I'll be relating when I see Dragon Ball stuff. I'll be like, oh snap, he powering up, you feel me, like bro powering up. And for the longest time, mind you, I'm not saying that I don't watch anime no more, nothing like that. It's just literally like a fresh thought, and I'm just recording it right now. Well, I've been thinking about this for a minute, but I'm finally like just really expediting. I don't know the word, but I'm really just hyper focusing on this right now. It's like the show like Dragon Ball Z and all the Dragon Balls and things like that. You could take like for face value a lot of the stuff that happens in that show and be like, okay, bet I can correlate this to my walk in Christ, like charging up, you know, I'm fighting demons, you know, I'm Kamehameha, whatever the heck you want to talk about, right? However, like the undertones of the show is not of God. Like, what I mean by that is I never really did a lot of research on any of the stuff that happened to Dragon Ball, but what I do remember is that Goku, and spoiler, I mean, Goku died one time, and then he went like to heaven, and I'm pretty sure like their depiction of like heaven and earth and everything like that, like it's more from like a different belief system. But there's demons in Dragon Ball Z, there's spirits, there's all these other things. And then we later on get to the whole subject of it being Super Saiyan God, right? Mind you, I'm not saying that alone is a problem. I'm just saying, remember I said it's anime and the idolization of demons. Well, what I mean by that is a lot of the things that Satan has created and installed, because we all know that Satan is not omnipresent like God is, so he uses systems. And a lot of the time, and I'm not saying that because like I got a special revelation, it makes sense. Like it does. He's not omnipresent. He's limited. So he's not God, but he does have systems, and his systems, principalities, rulers of the earth, all that stuff, like systems, people who run them systems, aka demons and principalities, all that good stuff. Anyway, what I'm saying is stuff like those undertones in Dragon Ball Z, those undertones in Naruto, to where like you see like a 9-tailed fox demon that's like inherent, like inside of the main character of the show, and like gives him powers. It's like it's painted as being innocent or being cool, quote unquote. And as long as the main character turns out like a good guy, then we like completely turn a blind eye to like the whole demonic stuff. Like, What was it? It was, I think it was Soul Eater. I just saw, or it was something. It was either Soul Eater or no, I know what it was. Black Clover. Yeah, Black Clover. Literally, the main character has a whole devil on the inside of him, and it gives him powers, and we be hyping it up like it's cool. Now, I'm not saying I don't know all the Christians out there who actively watch anime. However, I do know that a lot of people who Christians like anime. I don't know if they be binge watching it, but I'm saying, like, I know that anime's dope. Like, come on, let's be for real. Like, anime is a dope thing. And honestly, I don't think anything's inherently wrong with anime. It's the same thing with money. It's the same thing with food. Like, I think, like, nothing's initially wrong with the genre of animating shows, making them look cool and having stories behind them. I don't think anything is wrong with that. What I do think is wrong and I have a problem with is the fact that all of these animes take the demonic stuff and they paint it as something that is fairly innocent and that it's easy for us to swallow and stomach, to where we start looking at the demonic stuff and being like, well, that's okay. You know, it's fine. It's just a show. Sure, the main character is turning into a half demon right now, but hey, he's going to power up so he can defeat the villain. And like, we start embracing the idea of a good devil or a good demon, or we can, or it's okay for us to embrace our dark side. Like, I'm not talking about like embracing your dark side to be like accepting who you are. I'm talking about like, no, like embrace that part of you that wants to like crash out, as we saying now, or embrace a party that's like, oh yeah, like I just want to do evil. So I'm peeping that, and I'm like, yo, what is up with it? Like, what's up with anime and the idolization of demons? Because I say idolization because I'm saying, like, every main anime that we can ever think of, like the GOATs, like the golden animes, like Dragon Ball Z, Naruto, all those good stuff. One Piece, Devil Fruit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I know it sounds normal. I get it. Like, it don't sound crazy, because when you watch the show, it's like, okay, cool. You know what I'm saying? Like, he look cool, but like, it's just like it's intentional. Like, it's really intentional. Like, we really exchange the truth of God for a lie. And it's not in the sense of us being like, oh, I know that there's not a devil fruit. Okay, let's call them angel fruits. It's the principle behind it is the fact that people are drawing power to defeat evil from another source other than God. And a lot of times we digest this type of content thinking that it's changing our lives and it's changing our heart posture, or it's changing the way that we think, because we all know that anime has a really big effect on personality sometimes. Like, it makes you want to act different. It makes you want to talk different. It makes you want to X, Y, and Z. So, and I'm not saying that every person who watches anime is like a, you know what I'm saying, is like that. What I'm saying though is, like, we know that the Bible tells us to guard our heart, tells us to guard our own heart. And this is for me too, because I don't guard my heart the way that I know I should enough. I'm saying this because I'm like, I know with anime and hey, we can even go down the road of saying like porn and movies that have sex scenes in them. Like, regardless of whatever the vice is, and the vice, but vice, whatever the vice is that we might be allowing into our hearts, it affects us to some degree. And I know I got some people who, like, they stone cold on like, well, I can listen, watch X, Y, and Z, and that's not going to affect me at all. And look, bro, when I say affect, I'm not talking about like you're going to watch a movie about people getting killed and you want to go kill somebody. That's not what I'm talking about. There's an effect somewhere in there, but it's not going to be the same effect that we're talking about. But it's not going to be the same outcome as somebody else might have it. However, there is an effect. There is a fact that you just got exposed to something, and it's not the sense to say that, oh, it's going to start making you feel some type of way. Because if a person walks around, if you spray some cologne on you and you wearing it all the time, your nose used to it, but then somebody else gets exposed to it and it kind of ruffles they nostrils, they going to start, like, you know what I'm saying, they're going to start getting affected to it, which you probably used to it. And I don't know how good of a correlation that example was. All I'm saying, though, is this. With anime, I think that is one of the vices, one of the ways that the enemy uses to desensitize us to the fact that the demonic is real and he just dresses it up to look cool. Like, I really think that's what it is, because a lot of the times we watch this stuff and think it's so dope, and it doesn't necessarily inherently feel like wrong. And again, I don't really think like I've ever watched anime and felt convicted to the point where I was just like, oh, I need to turn this off. Like, there's been some points, like, because there's a lot of animes out here that have like black magic in it, and just magic in general and things like that. And some people might think that's okay, but what I'm saying is, bro, like, a lot of that stuff is demonic. It is, like, it is. And so I was looking for my earring. I was like, how about they over there? But I would say on the opposite side of that, I think that a lot of the things out here are demonic. It's just one of the main things that we kind of accept and be like, okay, it's still cool, is anime. And nobody talks about it. Like, nobody really talks about how much demonic content is within anime. Like, we could really go down the list for real. Like I already did Dragon Ball, and I think like Bleach, for instance. Like, Bleach, he's literally fighting like spirits. Death Note is literally a demon that is helping Light, right? His name's Light. But not even that. It's not even like the characters sometimes. It's the principles of the show. Like, Death Note, for instance, it was about a guy. And mind you, the principles, I'm saying, like, it's what you're consuming and it's teaching you. However, like, a lot of the stuff that we see in these shows are like real life scenarios just painted in a fictional dramatic way. But the principles still are getting into your heart. So like, when you see people like Light, who's out here, and if you don't know about Death Note basically a main character named Light. He gets a book from a demon called the Death Note, and whatever name he write in the book, that person's gonna die. And so he goes on like a whole not tantrum, but like, he just has a field day with writing people's names down in the book, right? And it's a dope show, actually. Like, the show itself, when I say it's a dope show, I don't want to say it's good, because good means something else, and we always call things good. Like, I'm not trying to be super uber serious, but I'm just being real. The show is a dope story. However, if you're not careful, you can start allowing like that type of demeanor and characteristics to start influencing your heart to be a lot more cold and closed off and to become a narcissist, because that's essentially what Light really was. You know what I'm saying? He was a narcissist. And you go into any show, you go into all these different shows, they constantly boost up the glory to their own main character, and a lot of times there's a lot of pride and there's a lot of ego, there's a lot of me in the shows, or there's a lot of, I draw my power from my friends. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, bro, no, like, we supposed to be drawing our power, not even drawing our power. We're supposed to be saying, God, I'm not strong enough. Holy Spirit, I need your help. Like, that's the standpoint that we all should be in, because we know that we ain't strong enough. Like, if we was to draw this out in an anime scenario, boom, villain come up, oh snap, we about to die, like, we about to lose. And it's not like, let me charge up on the power of my friends. It's like, no, Holy Spirit, I need you. I'm not strong enough. Come through, God. And boom. And a lot of times we could correlate a lot of the scenes from anime to that. We could correlate a lot of scenes to like people getting beat and then them getting back up and like, yeah, because those are principles from the Bible too. You know what I'm saying? Get back up, X, Y, and Z. And that's why I'm saying, like, inherently, I don't think anything's wrong with a lot of what's wrong. I don't think, let's say it like this. I don't think a lot of the stuff that happens in anime, in the story itself, is technically wrong. But again, I do think that a lot of the times we watch this stuff and we become very desensitized to the fact that the environment of the show, the undertones of the show, what's really happening in the show, like what happens when they're done fighting, the stuff that we don't really care about, but it's like in the background, like that stuff was intentional. Like, it was an intentional plot for the story of the stuff. So what I'm saying is, man, like, yes, the scenes are dope. The fights are cool. The stories are great. The main characters are inspiring. And the world they live in is demonic. It is. It's not the world we live in. It's not. You know, and we don't. I ain't even start on the sensual stuff up in anime. I mean, you talk about this the if you don't know what I mean by sensual, like the explicit stuff. You know what I'm saying? The exposed stuff and all that, like all that stuff on anime too. Come on now, bro. And this straight up anime is just dedicated to that sort of content, and we all know what that category and stuff looks like. Fair enough, I can call that demonic too. Like a lot of those animes, just naming it, like they got stuff talking about like succubuses, incubuses. Those are literally like real deal spirits and real deal things. And we watch stuff to where it's like, oh, it's just a little girl who calls herself a succubus. She's an innocent character, waving her little wand around or punch. I don't like. There's so many animes out, bro, and a lot of them are based on cultures that are demonic. I don't know the cultures off the top of my head. Like I want to say Buddhism, or I don't know, that's the culture, but I don't want to be disrespectful and say the wrong thing. But a lot of them are based off of cultures that these shows are birthed out of, like Japanese cultures and Chinese cultures that are anciently demonic. Like, just being real, I'm not gonna lie, they is. And when I say demonic, I'm not talking about this. It's like it's because it doesn't come off that way. Well, sometimes it does. Like sometimes it's just they bold with it. Like there's a lot of animes that are real bold with it. Like nah, this show about the demons and devils. It's dope though. We gonna put this junk in some high quality animation. You gonna love it. But it's about devils. But no, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like actual shows that just kind of like just paint it easy, and they'd be like, no. This is just a show and everything's fine. You ain't gotta worry about nothing. That's what I'm talking about. You know, so it's just a thought. And I feel like there's more to be said on it. It's just I'm by myself, and I feel like if I bounce these thoughts off of multiple people, like a lot more will come out of this. And I probably will do that too. But again, man, it's just a thought. Like, I'm not saying your favorite anime is demonic. Okay, because I have a favorite anime. Not a favorite anime, but I have an anime that I really like. That it's a sports anime, Blue Lock. Some people don't like Blue Lock because if you're new to all this stuff, you're like, what is this man talking about? Anime, idolization of demons. Like, what the heck is anime? Okay, cartoons. Like, no. There's multiple types, multiple categories of anime, and they have like sports animes, they have shonen animes, which are like mainly fighting animes. I'm not the most knowledgeable, but I am knowledgeable enough to at least speak on it. A lot of the different types though, like there's different things. And Blue Lock, I thought was a really dope anime personally. However, I even saw a fault with Blue Lock because I was like, well, the principle in that show is you got to be the very best. You got to basically devour the next person and ahead of you so that you can beat them at their game, and you got to grind hard and X, Y, and Z. All of those things, like they're not lessons that the Bible teaches. And like we could look at that and be like, we could look at some of the stuff that happens in anime and correlate it back to the Bible and be like, okay, yeah, these things kind of match up, but like. Deception is giving you the truth and a lie at the same time. Like, here's a little bit of truth, the rest is lies. But I'm just gonna give you a little bit of truth though. Like lies mixed in with truth, that's deception. And I feel like a lot of times we look at anime and we think that all of it is good because there's a little bit of truth in it. And we only look at that one little truth, and then we be like, okay, I'm gonna just wait till the next episode, yada yada yada, this and the third. But like it's literally like we pay our money for it, we give our time and our attention to it, and like we don't even think about how it's affecting our heart, and more so how Holy Spirit is really feeling about it. And again, I'm not saying this is like a sin pointed out in the Bible. I don't think anywhere inside the Bible it says thou shalt not watch anime. However, it does say that we shouldn't have no other God. Not even it. God said we shouldn't have no other gods before him. And I think a lot of times we don't realize how giving our time and attention to other things, me included, giving our time and attention to other things a lot of the time, it really gives worship to other things. And worship meaning our adoration, our time towards something, our thoughts, our mind, so yeah. It's funny because I think a lot of us don't even realize who we idolize and what we idolize. However, when it comes to anime though, I just wanted to point that out and possibly hear what other people think too, because again, I ain't bashing nobody. I ain't calling nobody out. This ain't something I've seen people doing and I was like, oh, you wrong for that. It was just something I was just like, I'm seeing a lot of this and I don't think nobody talking about it. And if somebody talked about it, dope. I just may have not seen it. I just wanted to say it myself because I was like, that's interesting. And just want to talk about it. And I promise you, I ain't high, no drunk. It is 5 in the morning, I think. 5 o'clock, 5:30, almost 6 o'clock in the morning, something like that. And I just can't go to sleep. I probably can now, or probably in the next couple of hours, but I had went to Häagen-Dazs, the ice cream joint. I don't know, some ice cream spot, man. And I was like, I just tried a random flavor. Turns out the random flavor was an espresso ice cream, and it was 9 o'clock when I got it. So I was like, oh. So I literally drunk the ice cream stuff, and it was basically espresso. It was. I read the sign that said it was ice cream espresso. I was like, oh. So I literally drunk espresso. If you don't know what espresso is, that's just straight coffee. That's pure caffeine, no cap. So my eyes a little tired. I was trying to go to sleep earlier, didn't work. Then started just being on my phone. I was like, So anyways though, that's it. Again, like I said, I don't think this is the last time I'm talking about this, but it was just something I thought was interesting. So yeah, bye.